go. Hello everyone. Welcome to I Am Never Stopped Out. I am never stopped out. Finally, the first video is here. Sorry to keep you guys waiting. As I said, I'm a little bit OCD when starting new things. This YouTube is completely brand new for me. So I wanted to have the perfect setup, the perfect camera angle, the perfect tripod or whatever. So it took some time to set it all up, but now we're here, and the reason why we're here is, well, August was the best month of my life in terms of trading. I literally had 0 red days out of 21 trading days or 22 trading days. And I know there's gonna be one fucker who's gonna be like, hey, this is Photoshop. Well, yeah, sure. I don't even know how to edit the videos, so this all is gonna be super raw, authentic content without any super fancy edits, whatever. But just to take the claim off that this is a Photoshop, let me go. This is Topstep platform. I'm not gonna go into any promotions or anything, but if you know Topstep, then you know this is Topstep calendar. And I have the Topstep dashboard here. Let me refresh it. This is the account, start date August 1st, and this is the profit. So August 1st, every single day, only green days once, and in the end I finished with the 9,000. But the reason why I'm making this channel, besides this super good month, besides this August that I was really proud of myself, is I'll tell you why I'm here. I have been scammed by paid courses. I've been scammed by paid discords. I've been grinding trading for, let's say, a year and 4 months, 5 months, something like this. And then I had the perfect month. I decided to post it on Reddit. And here I want to thank every single one of you who saw my post on Reddit and commented anything positive or found it inspiring or encouraged me to start this channel, because this channel had 8 subscribers before the Reddit post. Now this channel has, I think, 400 subscribers. So I'm extremely thankful for every single one of you who is already subscribing, who's been waiting for this video. I thank you all for the positive feedback. And if you're completely new here, if you just saw the title that some guy had perfect dream month and you want to do the same, then let me give you a quick intro to this channel. I will never sell you a course. I will never sell you paid Discord. I don't even have a Discord. So if someone wants to set up a Discord for me and kind of handle it for the community, I will be really grateful. Otherwise, it will be along the way. Right now, my focus will be YouTube, charts, and it will be really raw, honest, transparent trading journey of me becoming consistently profitable trader. I hope I will make at least one of you profitable trader along the way. That's the only reason I have this channel, to inspire someone, to help someone, and to change someone's life, because trading really can change your life. It definitely has changed my life in every possible way. And yeah, welcome to the journey. I'll get straight into it, why or how I achieved this. I need to show it again because the screen is beautiful, right? Even though on my background I have a red color because I like shorts more than longs, but that's another topic. Anyways, how I achieved it and what to expect. So I will post on this channel every single win, every single loss, every single, so to say, highlight of my journey, low light of my journey. I'm gonna be completely transparent, and again, I will never sell you a fucking course. Never. I've been a victim of that. I'm not gonna do it myself. And just to add a little last point to that, if someone is selling you a course that promises to make you the best trader or profitable trader, then run to the nearest exit, close the YouTube channel, whatever, Because if there was one channel, if there was one course or paid Discord that will make you profitable trader, well, first of all, you wouldn't have money to afford to pay for the course. That course would be acquired and wanted and chased by Goldman Sachs traders who want to get the secret sauce. There is no secret sauce. The secret sauce of becoming profitable trader is overcoming yourself. Now, what I mean by that is every single person sees the same chart. I see the same chart, you see the chart, your friends see this chart, your dad, your brother, your neighbor, we all see the same charts. The guys in the bank, the guys, I don't know, in their basement, the guys in a small room like me, we all see the same charts. Yet there's only a small percentage, and I don't buy the whole 5% of traders are the only one who are profitable. Who cares? My mission is to become profitable. My mission is to help you become profitable. So let's not try to put any negative statistics here. But if everyone sees the same chart, that means it's about the guy or a girl who sees the chart in terms of becoming successful. And the most important thing, besides the strategies, besides the charts, besides the indicators or setups I'm going to show you, the most important thing I need to say, and I'm probably going to say this in every single video, nothing is 100%. Nothing in trading is 100%. You can have the best setup, you can have the best strategy, you can even have maybe insider information. Well, that's a little bit different topic. But the only person who has 100% win rate in this world is Nancy Pelosi. Well, if you don't know, Google. If you know, you know. So everything I will show you in terms of my secrets, my setups, the way I view the market, and you take time to learn, you take time to implement this into your own trading, then one thing is certain: you will never have 100% win rate. And you always need to expect the unexpected. Because look, let's say you buy a course, you're gonna be victim like I was. And the course shows you a strategy. Let's say it's a breakout strategy, or I don't know, reversal strategy, it doesn't matter. And now you're gonna go to the markets and you're gonna trade for 5 days, and those 5 days you lose. What's gonna happen on the 6th day? You are probably looking for a new strategy, and you're gonna find a new strategy, and now with the new strategy you're gonna win for 5 days, and you're gonna be like, oh my god, this is it, mom, dad, I'm gonna retire you, girlfriend, new girlfriend, whatever, joke. So the point is, on one hand you lose 5 trades, on the other strategy you win 5 trades. Now on the sixth day you're confident, you're gonna use the strategy, let's call it B. The first one is A, the second one is B, and you start losing, you lose confidence, and you lose, let's say, 7 days now. So you win the first 5 days, you lose the next 6 days, you lose confidence, you jump into new strategy, the cycle repeats. While what if you stuck with the first strategy where you lost the 5 trades, but you kept going with the same strategy for 100 days? And let's say this strategy has 60% win rate. What will happen on the 101st day? You will be profitable. You will feel confident. So that's why it's really important that nothing is 100%. I can show you some really good sauce. I hope you will get some good freaking sauce from this channel that will change your view of the markets, that will make you profitable, but nothing is 100%. Also, nothing is financial advice. This is only for educational and entertainment purpose. Anyways, let's get right into it. So when I look at the markets, the first thing I acknowledge is every single trader thinks they are trading the price action. Let me flip the script there. You are not trading price action. Price action is trading you. And you're gonna be like, what the fuck? What is this channel? How price action is trading me? Well, let's give you an example. You see this breakout. I mean, don't take it literally. This was a news based breakout, but you see this breakout, you feel FOMO. You're like, oh shit, I missed out. Maybe you feel FOMO to short immediately without any confirmations. So, or you feel anxious when your trade doesn't go into your way immediately, or you feel excited when it goes immediately your way. So you see how the price action is actually trading you. And this is so important, and I'm gonna make a separate video on this, but it's so important to understand your own characteristics. It's so freaking important to understand what fits you. Maybe it's swing trading. If you're an anxious person and you can't sit on the screens and look at every movement and you feel anxious when you enter trade, fine, maybe swinging is for you, or maybe you need to only trade when it's strong trend days, when the market is only going one way and it feels really easy for you to trade. On the other hand, maybe you're a really chaotic person. Maybe you enjoy scalping. Maybe you enjoy staying in a trade for 5 seconds. You get in and out, and that's it. So there is different strokes for different folks in trading, and it's literally like, for me, I trade reversals and I trade trend. Now you're gonna be like, well, that's conflicting, because how can you trade trend but also reversals? They are literally the opposite. Well, I would say, in a not 100% serious matter, I might be a little bit bipolar in real life as well. So my trading is a little bit bipolar as well. So I know how to bring my characteristics into my strategy. But you are here to understand how I ended up winning every single day in August. By the way, to give you a little insight, how's the September going for me, I'll quickly show. I'm not going to focus on this. So September, on this account, I still haven't had a losing day. On this account, I had a losing day, so my winning streak is over. Whatever, I'm not going to focus on this today. But let's get into the interesting stuff. So how I view the markets is probably a little bit different than a lot of other traders. Maybe that's the reason I had successful months. Maybe I had to find my way on how I see the markets differently, that fits into my character. But okay, let's get right into it. So market itself is telling you a story every single day. And you're gonna be like, what story? Market is telling me a story. Yes, market is telling you a story every single day. Think about it like a TV show. For me, my favorite TV shows are Breaking Bad, Prison Break, I don't know, Modern Family, for good laugh. But if you go on a higher time frame, then imagine that this here is the previous seasons. This is season 1, this is season 2, season 3, season 4, now we are season 6, and there's never finale, whatever. There's never final episode for those seasons, and this gives you idea what's been happening in the so-called TV show before, and you don't know what's gonna happen next, but it can give you idea what might happen next. So it's always good to look back on the previous, so to say, stories, chapters, seasons, whatever you want to call it, to get idea where this story continues. And now, as you might know, in every single story there are main characters, there are side characters, and there are characters that are just in the background. And it's same in markets. So And these characters are telling different story. And my trading way is putting those character stories together to make the decision to enter into the trade. As I said, few characters have much higher impact, few characters have much less impact on the decision I make when I click my mouse to enter the trade. And this is a really good that I mentioned this. One thing you need to remember in this game of trading, you are the one who clicks this button. There's no one else. You are the one who makes the decision. So when you're making decision, always think, is this in a good, is the decision that I'm making benefiting me, or is it controlled by the price action, which is affecting my emotions, which is affecting my decisions, psychology and so on. But I'm gonna have a separate video on psychology and this. So who are those characters in the story or in the TV show of market? Well, the main character or the main characters are price action and volume. And that's again my opinion. You can have completely different opinion. I am explaining how I see the markets, how I trade. So higher time frame are even more important characters. Lower time frame are still super important characters, but not as important as the higher time frame characters, because high time frame shows you the bigger picture. Now, I also mentioned that another character who is really important is volume. Why volume? I'll try to do a really quick course on volume right now. So why volume is important is volume shows you if what the candlestick is showing you is real or not. What I mean by that is what I always look for in the volume as a character, or what volume is showing me is, let's say we have this huge move down. What I want to see is that volume bar is correlated with the candle size. If the candle size is really small and the volume bar is really small as well, well, it matches. So in volume, it's really important that the effort equals the output. If you have a really high volume, but the candle, let's say, I'm not looking at the volume right now, but let's say you have super high volume candle, super high volume bar, and the candle looks like this, well, something shady is going behind the scenes, something is going on because the volume is high, but the market doesn't move. So these are the main characters. Now volume itself goes into so many different elements. It has VWAP. If you don't know what VWAP is, it's volume weighted average. So it's like, if you know EMAs or simple moving average, then VWAP is a tool that you can use. Let me put it on my screen. VWAP is a, so to say, it shows us where are the, so the blue line here is VWAP, and it shows where the price is moving according to volume. What's the volume weighted average? This is really useful because it shows that in this area, if the price comes back, then this is where the most volume is, according to the market session time and so on. But I'm not going to dive into VWAP. I'm going to dive into all of those price action, volume, one by one in different videos, because I don't want to make the first video super long. So I'm a little bit skipping ahead. So if you don't understand something, it's fine. We're going to go into every single indicator, every single character in the story. But I want to give you an overall picture, how I see the market, what makes me enter, and so on. So what we have defined so far. We have market is telling us a story. The story has characters. Different characters have different roles and impact. Now volume and price action are the most important. If you ask me what is price action is trend, price action is the price itself. its important areas. So as I said, you need to look on your left to see what happened in the previous chapters, and you always see, like for example here, you see that this area has been really, so to say, key area all the way. This is price action, this is support, demand. Here we have, so to say, resistance, or supply areas, some of you call it, whatever you call it. So this is price action. So these two are the most important characters in the story. Now for me, do I enter only based on these two characters into my trades? Sometimes yes, but it's sometimes. I don't prefer entering only based on these. But if you want to keep it really simple, you can trade only based on price action, and I can make separate videos regarding price action trading, or you can trade only based on the volume. That's completely fine as well, and there are a lot of traders who only trade the volume. So to give you one last example of a volume on how to spot it in the reversals, I will give you an example what would probably have had retired your bloodline if you still were holding this trade. Anyways, we were in a downtrend since February until April. So few months of downtrend. Pretty much there was no point of longing. Yeah, we had few pullbacks, but that's it. So in this case, the more down we go, then obviously psychologically the more scared you're short, or maybe you're even more confident, because every day the shorts are printing short every day and make money. Well, I mean, kind of true, but where would you have made a real money? Or let's say you made money on the way down, and now you see that the shorts are not working anymore. What was the indicator that this is, so to say, reversal button? Well, some of you might say, well, this area was the last time we entered into, I don't know, a year-long uptrend, and probably when we come back here, we're gonna bounce. Yeah. So trading based on just lines might not always work. You could maybe also predict that we bounce from here, because this is a year ago before the another reversal. So, but we didn't. So trading just based on your support or resistance can work, but you lower your probability of winning. And as you might know, in trading you always need to think of probabilities. There's nothing 100%, as said in the beginning. Now, how would you have made generational wealth just based on the volume? Let me show you. So when I go to daily chart, we know that we bottomed out on Nasdaq, and I'm only speaking about Nasdaq. We bottomed out on Nasdaq on Monday, 7th of April. And there was a little, if you know, you know, there was a little Trump action on Twitter as well, but let's completely put those news kind of impact things on the side. So what happens here is we get this, and let me draw to make it even more visible for you. We have this huge down move on a daily chart. What we see is the volume is actually quite good. So the volume translates the move, right? Now, on the next day, I'm going to move this drawing, is we get super high volume as well, but the candle itself is not pushing down anymore. We get the first bullish bounce with super high volume, and I would even argue that this volume was the highest volume in the past few years. I think even in the last 5 years. Yeah, 2022 was the last time we had such a high volume. So if we had such a high volume, wouldn't you expect that the price would be like this? As I said, the volume needs you equal the effort you see in the candlesticks. So that would put me, so to say, in a strange state of mind if I wanted to keep shorting, because for the first time in 2 months, we have super high volume, but the price is not dropping anymore so aggressively. It is a big candle, but the volume itself, I would expect even higher. And what we get next day is super high volume in the same area of price, but now we get a little bounce back. Now the only difference is this candle definitely doesn't equal the volume. If this candle here would equal the volume we have here, then the candle would look like this. So this would be my first signal, or so to say stop sign for shorts, because I'm like, something is happening in this area. Well, if you combine this, that this is also area of interest in terms of price action, but you see that the volume itself is getting shady in terms of volume is increasing, but the price is not going lower anymore. And then we have this I would say not normal, but quite high volume day, a bearish day, but we're not moving down anymore. We're just hanging around in this area of interest. And then we get the displacement, right? Break of structure, market structure shift, whatever you want to call it. And here we see that the price actually, or the candlestick actually equals the volume. We have high volume, we have a high so to say up move as well. So for me, this calls, hey, we might have bottom, whether it's local bottom for short time or long time, but I will stay out of shorts for a while, and I will try to get better understanding what's the markets want to do next. Because for me, this indicates that, hey, there might be a lot of buyers in this area because the volume is super high, but the market itself is not moving down anymore. Now, if we zoom out on the same period, it's gonna get even more obvious. So this is the Sunday gap opening, and we get this, do you see this? We get this super high volume. But look at the candle, look at this candle. Does it look super bearish to you? For me, it doesn't. And for me, this will be the first indication, not to jump into longs, but to just start watching more carefully. In other words, to lock in. This will be my time to really lock in and be like, okay, maybe the shorts are a little bit more riskier than they were before. And another volume example I can see here, or the perfect example is here. We have, again, super high volume, but the price itself is getting eaten, so to say, by the bulls to the upside again. So on the lower time frame, it supports our theory that we might be on the bottom, because we see the high volume, but the candle itself looks quite, I would say, meh for the bears, and there's something going on that the bulls might be taking over. So the point being is, volume needs to match the effort, and it's the same if we go higher or lower. If the candles are getting more aggressive, then it means the candles are looking like this, the volume needs to match it, then you know it's really moving. As soon as the candles keep looking like this, but the volume keeps looking like this, at that point, try to think about getting out of your position, or try thinking about maybe finding a reversal, because it's most likely manipulated move, or someone is manipulating the price with the low volume. And to come back to this example, I think this is a perfect long signal. Why? Because the volume is really high, the candle doesn't show it, so it means this area still has strong buyers. There's even fair value gap, if you know what it means. But yeah, this was a perfect example of the volume translating into reversals, and this can be found in a short time frame, in a lower time frame. For example, here I think was a perfect example. Here is a perfect example. The candle doesn't translate what you see on the charts. So coming back to this historical moment, just based on the volume, if you're a swing trader, goddamn, like even if you enter late here and you put your risk reward, I mean 2000 points is absolutely insane. But the risk reward you can get from in this trade is insane. Of course, you need to zoom out for those entries. Okay, so we got away, or we got a little bit clearer regarding how I see those characters, how they play a role in in those characters in that story. Now, there are more characters in the story, and I don't want to, so to say, focus on everything at once. I don't want to make this video for like 2 hours. I can speak 2 hours about all those characters. But to give you an example, whatever else is important characters. So for me, the characters I look for is EMAs. Do I just trade based on EMAs? If you don't know what EMAs are, let me know in the comments. I will do a little video on EMAs as well. And I will mention here that it really doesn't matter if you know exactly what EMA is. Do I know how the EMA is calculated? Fuck no, I have no idea. I just know that the EMA, for example, this is 200 EMA. This means, as a, so to say, in human language, this means 200-day moving average based on the historical data. So it's a quite important tool, at least for me. This white one is 9 EMA. So what I'm trying to say is, do I trade based only on EMAs? Hell no. Do they play a role in my story that the market is telling me? Yes. So let's say, to give you an example, let's say the volume is showing us, so for example here, we see that the volume is pushing down. Okay. If I want to find a long reversal, then price action wise, this area here is quite interesting area. And what I would also mention in price action, if you are support resistance trader, which is completely fine, you can be a support resistance trader and be successful. If you're support resistance trader, let's say this is your resistance, price hits here, well, this is a perfect hit, but price hits here. Now the resistance becomes support, perfect, right? Support resistance. Then what I want you to understand about any important areas in the market, everything is in zone. There is no guarantee that the price will hit exactly your line. If it hits, amazing, like use it. You're really good at drawing lines. But it's more important to understand that market is moving towards zones. So for example, let's jump back into EMA chart. So right now we are on the 1 hour chart. This blue line is 100 EMA. We get a perfect bounce, as you can see, like right on the dot. Does it mean that it always happens? No. So for example, this is a perfect example. We bounce from 100 EMA in a way, but before we also come down to 200 EMA. So let's say you're like, okay, we are bullish in the long term. If it comes to 200 EMA, I'm gonna go long, and I'm gonna put my stop loss below the 200 EMA, because, well, let's say you enter here, or you even enter here, and you put your stop loss below 200 EMA. Well, what happens? You're gonna get fucked. So what's important here to notice is EMAs, support resistance, whatever it is, these are zones. If the market, for example, today is not the best example, But if the market, for example, if you trade EMAs and you're like 100 EMA on 1 hour is actually quite strong, if you're in a bullish trend, you want this to hold, then yes, you can get lucky by bounces like this. But otherwise, you should always expect this zone if the 100 EMA expected. It's completely fine. The market doesn't care if you're trading with 5,000, 100,000, if you're trying to take profit $5 or $5 million. It doesn't care. So keeping that in mind, you can't rely on just one zone and it needs to be tick by tick perfect. No, it's a zone. It's completely normal for price to come here. Let me delete this. For price to come here, do reversal here, and then shoot up, and we're still bullish. So this is another thing that's really important in trading. Nothing is, so to say, tick by tick perfect. You can have the perfect support line thrown on your chart based on the previous market action, and now let's say the candle, let's say, so let me give you a perfect example here. So let's say this is your resistance, you like shorts. Look what market can do. Market can be like, fuck your line, and then I go down. So it's important to understand that this is a zone. This support line is a zone. And of course, there is other explanations like raiding the highs or what you might call liquidity sweeps. Now, I call them as well liquidity sweeps, but I don't mean it word by word. If someone says that above highs there is liquidity, below lows there's liquidity, yes, there is liquidity, but liquidity is everywhere in the market. Liquidity means that how easy it is to sell one contract or buy one contract, how fast the transaction happens. That's liquidity. Liquidity is everywhere. If you look at the volume profile, we're gonna go there in another videos, then the highest liquidity in the market is usually here. Because think about it, if you are a big player, if you move, let's say, 500 million in a day or 800 million, even 2 billion in a day, your mission is to move this as silently as possible. Because if you drop 2 billion in the market in one order, the market will shoot up. So the important to understand is that everything is zones. You can have the perfect line, you can be correct, but you need to consider that this resistance is a zone. It can go higher and then give you, so you might need to wait for confirmation. Okay, do not make this video as long as possible. I hope this gives you the first insight on how I see the markets. And let's summarize this. The markets are telling you a story. The story has different characters. It has main characters like price action, which is trends, price itself, important areas of interest, and so on. Then there is volume, that is also as important as the price action itself. Now, volume consists with VWAP, volume profile. I'm not going to go even into the volume profile today. Then there are side characters that for me are really important. For example, there is EMAs. There is, well, if you look at this chart, you're going to be like, what the fuck is this? Exactly. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. How I put all of this together. So there are stochastic RSI. There is RSI itself. There is high term EMAs again here. There is this Watson envelope. If you've never seen this before, don't worry. I'm going to explain this in another video. But now if you combine this, so let me give you a perfect example. If you want to find reversal in before the market closes in 15 minutes, you see how these different story elements go together here? Look at this. We have, and I didn't explain this indicator today, but what we have is, we have this green thing, red thing, which is what's on envelope. We hit this almost perfectly. Again, remember the zones. And then we also have 100 EMA. So we have two characters telling us something. Now let's go to the cleaner chart. Let's go to the cleaner chart. Then we have area of interest here, right? So we tap into area of interest. Then we also have, let's see what the volume is telling us. Ooh, look at this. We had fair sales volume coming down. Nothing major, but it was supporting the bears. It was supporting going down. And look at this. We have the highest volume bar here. It doesn't give us instant reversal. And then we get another bearish candle here with high volume, but the price is not going down anymore. So now let's put them all together. Area of interest. Then we have 100 EMA on 1 hour chart. Again, higher time frame is always more important than lower time frame. And then we also have this, which we're gonna cover in future videos. And then I also see there's many other things as well, like stochastic RSI is getting a little bit overextended for the bears to the sell side and so on. There are so many elements. I don't want to cover, I don't want to over flip you, and oh my god, just the last choice. We are also on the previous weekly highs. So the last previous weekly highs is becoming a support, and we reversed exactly in the same area. And again, not exactly on the line, in the zone. I hope this was helpful. I hope you learned something new. If you didn't, then don't worry. I'm gonna dive deeper into every single section of this video. Please let me know in the comments. Did you enjoy this video? Did you learn anything new? And what do you want me to cover next? Maybe there are specific topics. But my plan for this channel is to show my trades, to show transparency of becoming a successful trader. You're gonna see me win, you're gonna see me lose, you're gonna see me emotional, non-emotional, and most of all, you're gonna see me improving as a trader. And I hope this channel will help you improve as a trader. If even at least one person who watches this finds something useful in my videos, becomes a better trader, then that's my purpose fulfilled. Thank you so much for the support. I hope you enjoyed it. I see you next time. Protect your capital and stay never stopped out. See you guys.